Hello, everyone. I'm excited to sit down with Jennifer Santolucito today. She's been doing some really cool things in the industry. And Jennifer, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, what you're doing, what you've done, and what started your passion for motorcycles.
Oh gosh, that's a lot there. Hi, I'm Jennifer Santolucito, and I go by Tattooed Songbird. I have been loving motorcycles for as long as I can remember. My dad raced Speedway at Ascot, so I kind of grew up on the racetrack, being around. I guess I don't know that we called it an industry back then, but a long time ago, being around people who were all like-minded and loved motorcycles. We also did some like derby cars. My uncle raced the derby, and so I always remember being on some kind of track growing up.
Mhm. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, well, from there, my parents divorced, and my mom kind of did a 180 and joined law enforcement and kind of took us away from that scene. And I didn't stumble upon motorcycles again until my early 20s, the year my dad passed away, actually. So the year he died was in 2000, and that year I got a bike and learned to ride, and then kind of found the community and kind of found like a family that I had been missing and kind of like longing for a place where I could just kind of feel accepted for myself, and I felt very comfortable. So that's kind of how it got started for me.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. So finding a community, aligning yourself with like-minded people, I think most people can really just assimilate themselves with that because it is such a great community and there's so many great people in it. So I'm glad you were able to find your way back and just be a part of it again. So with that, you are probably first and foremost a musician. You do some really great stuff. So tell us about you being a musician, and also tell us about your music and how it relates to motorcycles.
Well, for me, music has always been a really strong passion of mine. I'm a pretty shy individual, and a lot of people who get a glimpse into my life don't know that about me. They think I'm this outgoing person and I do all these things and I go to all these places and know all these people, but really I'm a very shy person. It's hard for me to get out of my shell and open up to people. And so for my music, which has always been my main passion, it's always been on the back burner, me not sharing my talent and not sharing my voice because I was so scared to be judged. So for me, it was like, in the motorcycle community, I was given an opportunity to model. And so I thought, oh, I would love to take a good picture, and this is how I can learn, you know? So I decided to move forward with that path. It was through showing up to bike nights and hanging out and then seeing, oh, these girls pose with motorcycles. Well, I kind of want to do that. Like I could try, you know? And I reached out, and I was like receptive, like, yes, please, I would love to have you model for us. And so I did that, the modeling first, and then it became emceeing. Like if I could MC on a stage and learn how to get on a stage without feeling like I'm gonna die, maybe I could sing for them eventually. So it was like 10 years of emceeing in the motorcycle community before I actually started sharing my music. So I've only been running a band for the past 9 years, and working on music and creating and getting comfortable and, you know, honing my skills for that. The music that I like to write, I write with the musician named Brad Webb. He's out of Memphis, Tennessee, and he has a brass note on Beale Street, and that's kind of like the Hollywood Walk of Fame stars for blues singers.
Okay.
So he's helped me learn, you know, the dynamic of writing a song, and this is the structure of it, and now you tell your story, and this is your tale. And so I feel like I've come across so many like wonderful people, and you know, like the older we get and the more we're around, the more people we lose from our lives. And so I feel that like this like great passion to tell the tales of those who have been here before us, like David Mann or Indian Larry, you know, Johnny Chop, Johnny Vasco. Like these are the people who I write my songs about, and it's because it gives me like a moment with them in my studio, and I'm alone with my friends and they're here again. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I have to tell their tales. Like we all play our part, You know what I mean? And I feel like through my music, if I can help these people be remembered, then that's my job. I have to do it.
That's great. And it seems like the motorcycle industry really helped you blossom to your true passion, or help you expand on your true passion of music. So I love how those have been tied together for you, and it's working obviously because you seem to be doing what you love. So I'm really happy to hear that.
Oh, thank you. Like, I feel so lucky. I see these people and they don't know who they are in life. You know, you come across people and they just kind of go through the motions every day. And I feel like I didn't really find myself until I found this community and was welcomed into it. And then not just welcome, but like, oh, get on the stage, Jennifer, go ahead. What do you want to do? Okay, let's try it. You know, it's so awesome.
That's so great. And because you said you're a shy person, I'm sure it just helped you get out of your comfort zone to stand in front of a crowd and just really, really, like you said, find yourself. So that's a really great story. Honestly, it's very heartwarming.
Thank you. There was actually a moment. I did the Blood, Sweat, and Gears tour with Billy Lane of Choppers Inc. And we had like the best bike builders, and we would go to all the major rallies across the country. And I would be on the stage emceeing it, and the guys would take a motorcycle, they would pick it apart and make it new again, and then give it to a serviceman or woman in the audience. And it was amazing. Like, it was such a great experience. But I remember vividly the moment where I was standing on the stage, and it was at Biketoberfest, and I was looking around, and I was like, well, these people are enjoying what we're doing, and they're here because they want to be here. And if they want to leave, they can just walk away and leave, and it's no big deal. You know what I mean? We're up here, we're doing what we love to do, but nobody's forcing any of these people to stay right here and watch us. Like, you know, and if they don't like it, well, they can just leave. And it really, like, oh, it was mind blowing for me to think that, like, you can share your talent. And at this point in time, I hadn't sang in front of like live for anybody because I was so scared. But that really like made me think, well, you could do this. Nobody's going to be forced to listen to you. You know, you're not making anybody. Like, they'll listen if they want to listen. And then if they don't, they don't.
Very true. That's a good perspective to look at too. And obviously, if you were staying, you're doing a great job. And to kind of tie on to that, you mentioned that you've been doing emceeing for quite some time, and you've been doing some renowned motorcycle events nationwide. So what is one event that you would tell every motorcycle enthusiast you have to go to?
Well, I feel like for me, the cream of the crop is Sturgis. You know, it's such a beautiful place, and you can ride in any direction, and the land changes, the landscape changes, and all of a sudden you're in a new place, even though you've started at the same place and your destination is right back at your home wherever you're staying. I've had so many different experiences there, and I used to work is how I would get to Sturgis, as I had to work to be there. I have to, you know, pay my way, and this is the only way I could do it is if I am working for something. And like, gosh, the last like decade and a half, like, I don't want to work at Sturgis. I want to go there for fun. I don't want to be tied down to a schedule. Like, I want to go and enjoy the land and my friends. When I was a little girl, I'd go to summer camp every year, and I remember seeing my friends and being so excited. And they lived all over California. They didn't live in my city. So when we get together, it was like we'd pick up right where we left off. And that's kind of like what Sturgis is for me. I see my friends from all over the world, not just our beautiful country, but from all over the world. We all meet in this one place, and it's like we pick up right where we leave off. And it's amazing. It's a magical place. The land is magical there for sure.
Okay, I've never been, so
oh my gosh, you have to go.
I'll take that advice, and for everyone who's watching today, take it as well if you haven't been. So yeah, thanks for your input on that. And have you ever emceed for them, or I know you've gone through a lot of emceeing gigs, but has that ever been one of them?
Well, I did MC in Sturgis for the Blood, Sweat, and Gears tour. We did have for 2 years. So for 2 years, I did MC there. And then, I had done like modeling work prior to that, where you stand in front of the motorcycles and take your picture, or pass out flyers or whatever the owner would want you to do. But yeah, it's such a beautiful place, and it's such a big event. There's so many things going on and so many destinations within this one place. Like, you go there and you think like, I couldn't possibly have this much fun. And then you do, like, times 10.
Well, that's good to know. And yeah, this is all noted for
yes.
yes. So you will be hosting the upcoming David Mann Chopper Fest. Tell us about your relationship with them and how long have you been doing it for?
Oh gosh, well, the David Mann Chopper Fest is my favorite event of the year. I feel like for me, it is family. I've known Tori, him and his father, David Hansen, are the ones who put this on.
Mhm.
And I met Tori. Gosh, when did I meet Tori? He was doing the clothing for Exile, and I was running with Choppers Inc. at the time, and I would help sell shirts and stuff out of Billy's booth. And Tori and I became friends. And then the David Mann Chopper Fest came, and it's been going on for 17 years now. This will be our 17th year. Longer than that, we had to take 2 years off due to COVID. So this will be our first time back, and we're so excited. So
Awesome.
they had the first year. I went with my husband. He had a booth for his motorcycle shop.
Mhm.
And so I went with him. Oh my gosh. And I brought a pig. My father-in-law is a pig farmer. So we thought it would be funny to bring a custom hog, right? And I brought this little pig, like little piglet, and I put it on a leash thinking it was just going to walk around with me. It was not. It was like, what are you doing
Oh,
to me? It was so
oh.
funny. But that was my first time attending the first year. And then the second year, I was pregnant with my daughter and it was raining that year, so I did not attend. But the following year was coming up and I had called Tori and said, I noticed you guys don't have an MC. And this is just coming off of Billy Lane's tour for the Blood, Sweat, and Gear Store. We had just stopped it. And so I asked him, can I MC the show for you? I'd love to do it. And then now every year at the end, I'm like, can I MC next year? And he's like, of course, Jennifer. It's been 15 years now. Every year you've MC'd it. I bring my guitar. That was the first place I sang with the band. Was there with the band that we had playing, Charlie Brechtel from
Mhm.
Bikers Inner Circle. His band was playing, and they played Ring of Fire for me, so I could get on the stage. I didn't move. I just held my microphone and stood still in the same spot the whole time. And then a couple years later, I started teaching myself the guitar, and so I would get up there and I'd play a song, like, oh gosh, a song that's supposed to be 3 minutes long, and like 8 minutes later, I'm still trying to get this song out, like, because I was just so slow. But every year I play there, I'll MC the show. And if my band now doesn't play, I'll play a couple songs always on my guitar. And I like to kind of use that as my gauge. Like, this is how much I've grown. Like, before I couldn't even move my feet from being on the stage. And now I can just perform a whole set for you if you like, or don't have a band. I'll just play my guitar and sing.
Okay, that's great. So basically, this festival, or it's basically has rooted your musical career. And so there's a lot of history there. So it's no wonder you go back every year and you're, renowned with them. So what do you enjoy most about this iconic event then?
The thing that I love most about the David Mann Chopper Fest is being on the stage and looking out and seeing the sea of motorcycles and the sea of people walking around
Mhm.
and honoring David Mann and feeling like I'm in his painting. Like, the palm trees are there, and then there's like the ocean, you can see it, and the seagulls are flying, and you see the people, and they're dressed in their leathers or they're dressed in jeans and tank tops, and everybody's got their own style. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's so beautiful and it's so distinctive. It's December in California. The skies are blue. It's a little crispy, so you can wear a jacket if you want to, but you don't have to, because it's cool, like, and it's not freezing. But I love it. I feel like I'm in a David Mann painting, and I just love keeping his name alive. I'm honored to be able to be there and to be associated with David Mann. I never had the honor to meet him in person, but I've always been a big fan of his since I was a little girl, seeing his pictures in Easy Riders,
Mhm.
knowing like, oh, this is so cool. Look how neat this is. And then to meet his widow, Jackie, and to learn about him and to learn little things like his favorite thing about the paintings when he would paint them would be the background. It wasn't the forefront of the bike and the person in the picture. It was always the background. So if you look at his pictures and you look at the great details, you see the mountains and the little pieces. It's not just a mountain. It's like the mountain, like, or the sky, and like, you can see the wind and the clouds. And like, it's just so cool to me. Just to learn a little bit about him, to cross paths with his friends. I always ask, can you tell me a story about him? And to just kind of soak it up from this man who to me is legendary, and he's not with us now, but he's with us. You know what I mean?
That's great. So it just comes across that you're just so passionate about being a part of this event. And I think any sort of promoter would appreciate having someone like you on their team, because you're able to really just live on the spirit of David Mann. So I'm glad to hear that you're just such a great additive to that event, especially for the last, you said 15 years, right?
Yeah, 15 years.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great. So what are you riding these days, and will you be riding it to this year's event?
Well, I come with a dress and a fur and my guitar and stuff, so I always drive my car up there.
Kind of hard in the dress.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of hard with all the stuff I have to bring. Then booth, I usually have some stuff for the booth too, and I share space with Mondo Porres of Denver's Choppers, so bring posters and whatnot. My husband has a Dynaglide, and that's what we ride. I ride on back now. When we started dating, or before we started dating, actually, I kind of decided that I enjoy riding on back best for me. And it's something that everybody can decide for themselves, you know what I mean? But for me to hold on back and to enjoy the scenery, I feel like it's like the best couple therapy ever. You just go together, and it's like, it's amazing for me. So that's what we're riding now. Is we've always have Harleys. He was a custom bike builder, and he hasn't done any custom bikes since he sold his shop. And so, yeah, so we're Harley family, and I won't be riding my bike, but I'll be driving my car, bringing all my stuff.
I mean, you got to get it all there to do your job. So I get it. That's awesome. So with the 15 years experience you have with the David Mann Chopper Fest, and you've done a lot other things outside.
So good stuff.
Yes, you've done so much. So you've been involved with the motorcycle industry for quite some time. So I know you've met a lot of iconic people, and you're friends with these people. So who is someone that inspires you the most, and why do they inspire you?
See, now this question is really difficult to me because there's so many people. There's just so many great people, and the majority, I feel like we're kind of like, we're all a bunch of people who spend a lot of time alone working on our craft. And I don't want to say antisocial, because a lot of the guys who have their shops have a lot of people working with them, so they're really not. But when the doors close and everybody goes home, they're not done working, and they're still there by themselves working on their art, and creating. And so for me, to meet all these people who are alone just like me, and then come out and say, hello, here I am, this is what I did, look what I made. It's so special to me, and to see how these people can be successful with their business and thrive. And I've watched the industry go from a peak where you're treated like rock stars, and you're given everything, and everything is handed to you, to our country having not as much money for play, and then the people having to struggle and now pay their own way to get to these events. And so I've watched these business owners maneuver and figure out, okay, this is how I make myself successful. And for me, Mondo Porres, who I mentioned before of Denver's Choppers, he is one of my very best friends, and he has opened his home to me in time where I was in between houses and didn't know where I wanted to live, gave me my own room, my own wing of the house. He's taught me a lot about respect, and how to be true to your word, and how to not only how people treat you, but how you treat others. And just watching his business. He started his business, Denver Choppers, with Denver Mullins. And when Denver passed away, Mondo kept it going. And still to this day, he's still making those front ends and making beautiful custom bikes, and doing it, in the name of Denver. And to see him do that and honor his best friend like that, and we just have so much fun when we're together. It's always a good time, and I just can't believe the years just keep flying by. I've almost known him for 20 years now, and it's him, it's Mondo. Yeah, that's it.
That's great. That's awesome. I mean, there's always someone who you need to look up to inspire you to do more, and to inspire you to just align yourself with your passions and everything. So I'm glad that he is your person. So in saying that, what are some projects you're working on these days?
Well, right now I'm working on my sophomore album. I have my first album came out. It's under the title Tattooed Songbird, and it's you can Google and it's on Spotify and iTunes and all the platforms. But the sophomore album is what I'm working on right now. So just writing new music, and then once I have the songs written, Brad Webb, the gentleman I had mentioned before that makes the music with me, he sends me tracks and we build the songs together. And then we hire the Memphis musicians who are amazing to come and play the parts for us. And so when I'm done writing the words now, and we have the collective of songs, I'll fly out to Memphis and we'll record the album. So when I recorded the album first with him, I was living in Memphis and then had relocated to Nashville. So I would drive from Nashville to Memphis for 4 hours. I would record for 4 hours and then drive home for 4 hours. And we did that for like 6 months.
Wow.
And it was crazy. Yeah. But I was learning a lot, you know? Now we're even farther. I can't just drive to Memphis from California in a Saturday. It doesn't work, you know. And then I also have my son now. He's 5. I have a daughter who's 15, and they take a lot of my time because I'm raising my family, and being a housewife to my husband as well. But I spend the time whenever I can, and I finish writing those songs. Charlie Brechtel, who I'd mentioned, who I got to play with at the first David Mann Chopper Fest, where he jumped in and played Ring of Fire. He passed away in 2020. So that's one of the songs that Brad and I had written for this next album will be about Charlie, and just trying to keep, trying to keep everybody's memory. And I hate to say that the songs I only write are those who have passed. It's not true. I do have other music too. I do have other stuff also. But that's the big thing I'm working on is that second album. I also front a metal band out here in Southern California. And we do a lot of covers like Guns N' Roses, Metallica. And then we also been working on some original music too, where we last year released a song, FTW. It's not fuck the world, it's forever two wheels, and it's just about the ride and, meeting with your friends and that every destination is the same destination. It's always going together and enjoying our beautiful country or whatever country you're in, enjoying the moment and being present and being together. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, music and raising my family.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on the upcoming album that will be coming out soon. So that's really awesome. And it seems like you're doing a lot, you're having fun with what you're doing, and you're really passionate about it all. So share with me a motto that you live by every day.
I'll never forget Rick Fairless. He had said something one time. He said, and I hope I'm saying this right, get up early, work hard all day long, and good things will happen to you. And the first time I heard him say it, he said it a few times, and I thought, like, wow, that's so good. Get up early, like, don't procrastinate or be, lazy. Get up and work hard. Nobody's going to work hard for you, right? Like, you have to work hard if you want to accomplish things. And good things will happen if you're moving forward. It's when you become stagnant, I feel like, and you maybe get stuck on the couch watching TV and you're not moving forward, that, you become stagnant. So I love that. I love that motto, Rick Fairless, for sure.
Okay, that's a good one. And you're clearly living by those words. You're definitely a go-getter. So that's awesome. And if people want to keep up to date with all of your music, your MCing, what is the best way to do that?
I use social media. I'm trying to be better with it, but I'm not very good. I use Facebook. I like to go on there with my morning coffee, and I have tried Instagram. And last March, my Instagram was stolen from some man who's pretending to be me now. Like, I can't get them to get it back for me, or even just delete the account. So I have a new Instagram under tattooed_songbird. Don't go to Jennifer Santolucito there. It's not me, even though this guy is like, I have a new clothing company, or vote for me. Like, I don't do that stuff. Don't have a clothing company. I won't ask anybody to vote for my photos. I'll share my music, and that's about it. Look at my pictures of my family. But I have a website, www.tattooedsongbird.com. And yeah, so like that, they have a link to my social media there. I do have a YouTube, but I don't really use it very often. But you could do a search for Tattooed Songbird, and my music will come up from Google or Yahoo or whatever a platform, a person uses. But yeah, so that's it. Facebook is really what I use the most, though.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And yeah, we want to definitely keep up to date with what you're doing and listen to your new music and see you at all the cool events. So, yeah, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me today. It was so great meeting you, hearing your story, and I wish you all the best with your music and all your upcoming things coming up. So, yeah, I hope hopefully we can meet maybe at Chopper Fest. I've never gone
I
to it.
would love that. You
Yeah.
should come. It's the best bike show. It's so beautiful. It's like they have so many different categories, and so people bring their bikes, and it's not just the typical like all of these bikes are immaculate and they're made for a bike show. It's not like that. There's so many different categories, and you'll see stuff that you're like, "What is this?" or "This is amazing." Like it's really awesome. And if you could make it, you should definitely come. It would be wonderful to meet you.
Yes,
And
yeah.
you're so beautiful. You would be a beautiful addition to the sea that happens there, you
Oh,
know?
thank you. You're so kind, making me blush over here. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm new to California and actually new to the United States for the last year, so I'm definitely down. I'm always down to meet new people and check this out. So I'm stoked to meet you. So again, thank you so much for sitting with me and taking the time, and yeah, hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's so nice to meet you, Olivia. Thank you so much.
Thank you and take care.
Thank you. You too.